Ubisoft had another Ubisoft moment where apparently they had a massive leak for their upcoming Prince of Persia game, and it didn't go over well with the community at all. And with Ubisoft leaks and talking about them, covering them shortly after they happen, I always have a lot of concerns regarding getting channel strikes and stuff like that. So I'm going to do my best to tiptoe through the topic and give the information without getting a channel strike on this, but God only knows, we know how Ubisoft operates. So we'll start with this. Prince of Persia universe. Hello, Prince of Persia community. Today, footage from Prince of Persia, the Sands of Time remake, was leaked, apparently taken in early 2024, which sounds like a lot of cope right now, but I personally really liked it, even though it was still a very early stage of development. This is from Ubisoft original Prince of Persia Sands of Time. Hello, Prince of Persia community. I saw a leak of the game that was recorded in early 2024. The game was still in very early development. I can tell you that we can expect a completely new game. Only the story is the same. Everything else, parkour, character designs, that's a big one, by the way, combat style, environments, and enemies have been completely remade. So take all of this with a grain of salt with what my thoughts are on it, because I saw the character model of the girl in particular, and my goodness, she is not anything that I would think should be in a modern AAA game. But it was Ubisoft, so I was like, yeah, that's par for the course. If this is changed and they fixed it to be more like an actual woman in the game, then you could say Ubisoft has learned and taken notes from their previous mistakes. Said in this game, combat has been modernized, blending familiar acrobatic attacks with new advanced acrobatic moves. Time powers have been enhanced to offer a wider array of options in battles. The combat system and enemies have been revamped. New ways to defeat enemies, improved boss fights. From now on, Farah is a true ally, capable of fighting independently with her bow and executing cooperative attacks. There is no longer a need to protect her. Now, on the surface, you read that initially and be like, oh, okay, that's a quality of life improvement of the game. You know, this, that, the other thing. They're just trying to make it smoother. It's Ubisoft. You can never look at it or approach it that way with them. When I hear this, the first thing I think of is girl boss, girl power. Girls don't need protection. Girls can fight on their own. They don't need the man to stand by their side. First thing I think of when I see this. Straight up. We'll definitely learn more about Prince of Persia, the Sands of Time remake soon. I'll keep you updated. Don't forget to follow. And I don't know if I can show the pictures, so I'm not going to, because I don't want to get in trouble for it. But we have Grums here. It says, no, I'm not buying this line of corporate planted BS for Prince of Persia. Are you? The concept art is not the quote unquote end target, but the first target. And artists, especially AAA artists who are supposed to be the best, would not miss by that much on the initial pass. I'm telling you guys, I wish I could show the picture, but I can't because I don't want to strike on the channel. But the image is very easy to be found online, and it is pathetic. It really is. I will give the sources for all of this in the description as well. So in case you're curious to look for yourself. Gomes continues, says, everything is completely different. It's like they dismissed the concept entirely. Now that the cat is out of the bag and Ubisoft got caught, this smells like planted, leaked damage control. If so, let's hope they pause and redo Farah. Of course, they will claim it was always the plan, but we know otherwise. And this is a story from Video Games Chronicle. Grums was a source that I saw first. He says, Ubisoft learns nothing, makes Farah into, we don't need no man. Girl boss is the Prince of Persia remake. It's 2025, and they are still thinking this will somehow reach a wider modern audience, I'm sure. Now, that's the original design where Farah actually looks like a girl. There is no longer a need to protect her. Farah may be stronger in Prince of Persia, the Sands of Time remake, leak suggests. Players may seemingly no longer have to keep the prince's companion alive during battles. I know you're all shocked. And Demian, Ubisoft just can't help themselves, can they? And there's another leak of the dude, which again I can't show, so we'll go to this one. Endymion says Ubisoft completely removed the unique art design of Prince of Persia and Sands of Time remake. Now the prince and Farah look like Assassin's Creed NPCs, which they do. I got to be honest, looking at the images of them, they look like generic NPCs. And I'm hopeful that this really was from an early build in 2024, that they weren't going with this design, because yikes. Can we stop removing the unique art styles of games in favor of realism? This is sad to see, man. We got Pirate Nation quote tweeting Video Games Chronicle, says, stunning and brave. I mean, you guys know Ubisoft by now. That's how they work. And we got Grums, Prince of Persia, Sands of Time, alleged leaked image versus original, which again, all the sources will be available for you, but I cannot show them because I do not want Ubisoft to be striking me. Farah is now a girl boss. One of the standout pieces is a character slide for Princess Farah. In this version, she is described as 19, cold-hearted girl boss. There we go. Graceful, strong-willed, the eldest child of the Marhanja, and an agile, trained archer. The vizier is listed as her former tutor, which helps set up their shared history. Her personality is framed as honest and driven, someone who has spent most of her life preparing to become queen and prove she was ready for that role. And this is the article from Video Games Chronicle, which I don't actually, before I show this, let's make sure they don't have, okay, they didn't show any of the new stuff in this too. I just want to make sure, cover my ass. There is no longer a need to protect her. Farah may be stronger in Prince of Persia, which we covered earlier. The upcoming remake, Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, may make Prince's companion Farah a stronger character. Leaked document suggests. Slides from an internal 2024 Ubisoft presentation deck were revealed in a YouTube video earlier today, including motion capture clips, alpha gameplay shots, and concept art. The video was quickly taken offline following a copyright claim by Ubisoft, but not before the game post was able to report on its contents, which again, I cannot showcase because this is going to be Ubisoft is watching all these videos like a hawk right now. One of the key focuses in the presentation is Princess Farah, who appeared in the original 2003 version of Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. In the original game, Farah would accompany the prince through most of his quests and would also be involved in battles, but would often call for help when in trouble. You know, like girls normally do, and the guy is there to save them. Not anymore. Not with modern day Ubisoft. If an enemy killed Farah, the mission would have failed. According to the leaked presentation, Farah returns to the Sands of Time remake and once again accompanies the player, with no plans to make her a playable character. However, the presentation appears to stress that there will no longer be a requirement to save Farah during battles, suggesting that she should be able to take care of herself now because girl power? Why? That's literally integral to the game mechanic. Why would you change that? In this new game, combat has been modernized, blending familiar acrobatic attacks with new advanced acrobatic moves, it reads. Time powers have been enhanced to offer a wider array of options of battles. Combat system enemies have been revamped, and from now on, Farah is a true ally, capable of fighting independently with their bow and executing cooperative attacks. There is no longer a need to protect her. When it was announced in September 2020, the Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake had been in development for 2.5 years at Indian studios Ubisoft Pune and Ubisoft Mumbai, and was planned for release in January 2021. Ready for this? Following a negative reaction to the game's reveal trailer, however, it was delayed several times. So now we're at going into 2026 right now, and it was in development for 2.5 years before 2020, meaning 2017 to 2026. That is what, 8, 9 years already? One more year will be a decade long development cycle for this. And it's not even an original game. It's just remaking. It's remaking a game. How do you take 10 years to remake a game? The game's already been made. How do you fuck it up so much that you need a decade to do it? Holy shit. And in 2023, it was announced that Ubisoft Montreal, which made 2003's original Sands of Time, had taken over development duties because I know, color me shocked. Ubisoft India couldn't do it. Weird. The remake is now planned for release in 2026, with Ubisoft stating last year that Toronto studio Far Cry Watch Dogs Legion had come on board to collaborate with Ubisoft Montreal on the project. So it sounds like this was a complete shit show coming from Ubisoft India. And at that point, I'd be like, why do you even have offices there? If they can't make a game and productively and in a certain amount of time, why do you have them? Ask those studios. The only reason, and this goes far beyond gaming, the only reason you have a studio in India, this is the journos hate when you say this, ready? The workers are cheap as fuck. You can get 3 to 4 to 5 people in India working at a company for the price of one person in the United States. So you expand that out to an entire organization, and it is legit pennies on the dollar to have studios over there instead of having them over here. And Montreal, sure, they probably make a little bit less, but they still make far more money than in India. So to that extent, Ubisoft was trying to find a way to make the games cheaper and realized in the long run, it actually ended up costing them far more money by doing that. I just wonder why they still have these studios open and what the hell they're planning and what they're doing. What do you do when you go to work at a studio where your game's been taken away from you? What are you doing every day there? I could keep going with this, but it's bad. It's really bad. There's a lot of posts. I'd love to be able to show the images. I can't. Which way? Prince of Persia Sands of Time versus Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake for the modern audience. The images are not good. They're not good at all. And there's other articles as well talking about it and showcasing. None of them showing the. Well, this one actually shows part of a video. I don't want to get in trouble with Ubisoft, but there's a lot of sites that are talking about the situation right now. And it's bad. It's really bad. I could talk forever about Ubisoft being incompetent, but my goodness, you have not just a game in development for nearly a decade, but a remake of a game for nearly 10 years. And what leaks out, even if it's allegedly from a couple years ago, is so bad that you're like, how? How do you keep doing this, Ubisoft? How? I don't know. But I will tell you guys, as soon as I'm able to report on this game with official videos from Ubisoft, we're going to be ripping into it because holy shit, I can only imagine what this is going to be like. This is going to be very, very interesting. But for now, we'll leave that one right there.